Hello. So this is about photogrammetry. So what I did was I recorded myself running through everything. Then I stitched that together, and now I'm recording myself with the media player, all at 4K. So basically, what photogrammetry is, this tool right here, Meshroom. Let me set this recording on my phone. Tool's called Meshroom. There are other programs, but this one's like dead simple to use. They take a bunch of images, and then you let it run, and these are it infers where the camera is for each one of these. Is one of these pictures, each one of these camera icons, each one of these camera icons. And so it creates a point cloud, and then when it's all done, creates an object file that you can throw into whatever software, and makes an object mesh. So basically what you need to do with this type of software is you need lots of images with very small variation between them of a static object. It works best with a static object and a static background. Motorcycle reviews seem to be pretty good because it's just people, walking around a static object. So the problem is gathering all those images. Quite tedious. So I found a console app. Let me jump back to the beginning. I found a console app that, well, it's over on the side. It's covered up. I found a console app that downloads it from YouTube. Then there's another app, VLC, that will take image slices at regular intervals. They're console apps, and there's lots of folders that you need to create and maintain. So what I did is I made a little tool that just sort of, I injected my opinions of folder naming, so you just kind of walk through the flow. So what I did was I figure as you use this thing, you're going to have more and more objects that you want to create. So just create a base folder. So I just made off my D drive Photogrammetry. And then every time you want to make a new item, you just give it a random name and then go through the process. So let me zoom back out and hit play. So here I am entering a random name, 790 Adventure. And then, so what this needs is, let me pause. I don't know how to pause. What this needs is the location of this program, YouTube. You can hit that question mark, and I have all kinds of comments. So I just drugged this executable. I had downloaded it already. I drugged this executable onto this text box. This stores all your stuff off in app data. So when you close the program and bring it back up, it remembers. And then next step is give it a YouTube video. So I had already opened up a video. Yeah. So I had found a video of a guy walking around KTM. And then, hit the download button. So once you hit that download button, it creates a folder called Photogrammetry, and then I just create a bunch of, kind of the steps that you're going to flow through. And now it's in the middle of downloading. Maybe it already finished. It downloaded the video into this video folder. Next, okay. Next step, pause this. Next step is the VLC program. This VLC program, zoom back in. This VLC program will has a mode where you can tell it to just take snapshots, take image snapshots every X number of frames. But that's a command line. There's a way to do it from the go into settings, but that's tedious. So what I did was I made this little section. You just, again, you point it to that executable, and then you tell it what video. This thing, just scans the files as they get updated, and then every X frames, like I said, you can hit this question mark and it pops up. Next, you're probably not going to want to do the entire video. That's kind of crazy. So what you want to do is you want to find parts of the video that you want to take snapshots of. So what I did is, let me zoom way in. You can define its minute, second, space, minute, second, and then just give it a name, and then hit enter. So you can enter as many as you want, and each one of those will create a set of image files that you'll eventually be turn into your object file. Zoom way back out. Watch myself do all that. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking around in the video for a good start point. So here I am entering. I won't zoom back in. I entered 9 seconds. Now I'm just kind of scanning, looking for a good stop point. There. So I just entered. Well, I'm about to enter. So I entered 9 seconds to 45 seconds. Gave it a little name. Now I'm zoom back out. Finding just one more. I'm just showing that you can do multiple. So I found a couple. Let me skip forward a little bit. I found a couple. There we go. Pause. So what I've done is I've entered 2 different time frames, which will end up becoming 2 subfolders under this images, each subfolder containing an image every 6 frames. You can enter whatever you want. If it's recorded usually at 24 frames a second or 30 frames a second, then every 6 frames, you get 5 a second. But videos are recorded at whatever they're recorded at. So let me zoom back out, hit play. So now what I'm doing, I'm just gonna, so I hit that extract button. So that extract button, they're both running parallel. The other's under the hood. But they're little generated. So unfortunately, you have to sit and watch the video doing its snapshots. So here it now created the snapshots. Zoom back in. Just watch myself. Yeah, I can't play. So it created the snapshots. So that's okay. So that's all that tool does. Is it kind of preps things. So the next step. Let me zoom back in here. So you have the first step was to download the video. The second step is to turn that video into sets of images, and now you run it through your photogrammetry tool, Meshroom. There are others, but Meshroom is dead easy. Try that first. So yeah, let me. So now I'm just opening up Meshroom. So what you do is you drag the folder onto this, and then the next thing you need, let me just run. Next thing you need to do immediately, zoom back in here, is do a file save as. Because if you just hit run, start, it's going to throw it wherever it throws it, in some random folder. So immediately, as soon as you've drug this folder onto this panel, the next step is File, Save As, and my little tool created corresponding folder right here. So just save it into the Meshroom front left folder. Let me see if space runs it. Yeah, I can play and pause. So now I'm just grabbing that, pasting it up here, and telling it save. And then yeah, you just hit start. Hit start, and it took this particular one had 150 images, and it took about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so on my machine. This video, I kind of sliced it up, but I'm just gonna pause it. So what it's doing right now is it's calculating those images. It uses the background movement of the background, and so it likes static objects and moving, the camera moving the background. And over here, it's let me zoom in and hit play. Watch myself panning around. So usually it makes it upside down for whatever reason. So here I am just kind of looking. It's still doing its thing, but while it's doing its thing, you're getting some results. So I'll just go ahead and pause this, let it go to the end. So it once it's done, there's no export button because it's already written itself to its output folder. So next step is to run Blender. And quick note on Blender. When I watch people use it, they're all about the hotkeys. The only hotkeys that I know of, let me pause this for a second. The only hotkeys that I know of are X for delete, G for grab object, R for rotate, and there's a million others, but those are the only ones that I really know. So what you need to do, let me zoom back in. What you need to do, new session, delete your cube, file, import, OBJ file, and that OBJ file lives in the Meshroom output. Let me zoom back out. So here I am selecting the OBJ file. It wants the location, so I dig in. Oops. So pause again. So there's lots of folders that it generates, but it's the texturing folder that you want. So Meshroom, texturing, some random GUID, and then there's an object file in there. That's the object file that you're gonna select. Yeah, I'm grabbing the folder, pasting it there, hit enter, and then choose that object file. Once that comes in, zoom in a little bit. Pause again. So you can see that it's upside down. Defaults to this view. It's kind of handy to use this view right here. This is with textures applied. The other thing to note is that it's defaulted to object mode, so you can't modify your mesh. All you can do is like move it around. So what I'm going to do here is you select it with your mouse, hit G for grab, move it over here, hit R for rotate, and just kind of get it centered. So that's what I'm kind of doing here. Watch myself do it. So you select it, hit R, okay, and then come over, select it. I'll probably hit G next. Yep. Hit G for grab, and it's roughly centered. Poke around. Once you have it the way you want, the next step will be to go into this edit mode and then just start hacking away, getting rid of everything that's not what you want. So yeah, make sure you go into edit mode now, edit, and then click off, because right now all objects or all points are selected. There's probably better ways, but all you do is drag a selection box, hit X for delete, and then just delete the vertices, because any triangles tied to that vertex will also get deleted. So it's just as easy to just delete the vertices. And there I am over and over and over and over doing that. Let me pause this and come forward. So once I've done all that, yeah, there I am, just kind of showing different modes. You can look at the wireframe if you want. There is a sculpt mode, and this is kind of where my knowledge stops. There's lots of videos on how to apply. Look for turning. There's a program that I need to research yet that does really good at generating low poly meshes off of this, because this mesh is super high resolution and super bumpy. Let me see if I can back up a little bit. Yeah, so you can see just how bumpy it is. It looks like somebody just sprayed I don't know what that goopy stuff is, insulation onto something, and so you would need to smooth it out. That's kind of the other thing. It looks okay from this angle, but if you rotate it around, it's super distorted. So how would you slice it in half? And yeah, that I have a lot of learning left to do. But anyway, that's what this tool that I made. It was just kind of makes it easier to get to that step, to take a video. And like if that video maybe comes from your phone, you can still use this tool to grab the files if you want, if you like my folder naming conventions. So, all right, thank you.